Hello and welcome to another episode of BZG Talking Shit. My name is Barrett, and as always, I am your host. And here joined with me are my great co-hosts and even better friends, the bisexist from Texas, Henry Montiero. What's up, Henry? How you doing today?
3 days grace sucks.
And in between us is my favorite chunky punk, Ricky Baldazan. What's up, Ricky? How you doing today?
Muffin in my head of my muffin.
You had a muffin in my head of my muffin head and my head muffin.
If you don't know what we do here at Talking Shit, one of us brings in a topic of discussion, and then we talk some shit about that topic. And today's topic comes from the chunky punk, Ricky Baldazan. What did you want to talk about today?
So, recently I just put down $160 on comics.
That's a lot of fucking money. That's like a lot of money.
Like in the 30-minute period, I put $160 on comics.
Okay.
And I was...
Where are you going with this?
And I'm sad.
Topic today, sadness.
Sadness.
What makes you sad? My mom left me a while ago.
My mother.
My cat died.
And I wanted to talk about how our hobbies are getting really expensive.
Yeah.
Really expensive.
No matter where you go, it's getting way too expensive. Like you go to music, an album's like $12 if you buy. It's like $15 if you buy it on CD, and like $30 to $25 if you buy it on a record.
Yeah.
Comics getting way too expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
Like $4 or $5.
I think the reason why all of these physical things are being raised up is because digital is running the market right now.
Yeah.
Like you can get comics digitally right now, like the apps you guys use to like read comics on your tablets and shit.
Like Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a 6-month waiting period there, but
yeah, but still, that I feel like that's still like a factor into that, and. Yeah, like I agree with you. Is that like the shit that we love like consuming is getting way too expensive.
Like I have to like.
Now, in comparison to like what the average dollar was worth, like let's say like 20, 30 years ago compared to now, video games are actually technically cheaper.
Yeah.
And so, but there's still a possibility. Like I'm going to focus on video games for a little bit. Just for the next couple minutes.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about your comics and your
No. But video games is like is probably
the main factor.
The main factor. The one that I was thinking about.
It seems expensive, but technically, like back then, it was like more expensive. And we're in this weird process of like, it doesn't make sense that games are still digital. Like games that are digital release, like they still cost $60 if you buy them on digital, and like. I don't know why they just do a drop on them. I don't know if they have like a contract with GameStop or something, because think about like a lot of that money goes to GameStop of that $60. I believe that it might be a 50-50. It might be like a 30-70 sort of thing. I think GameStop might get like a 30 or 40% of like the price of that game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have like if games have like if companies have contracts with them, but if they started dropping the prices on digital, like you would see GameStop immediately fucking die. Like I don't know if we were talking about it on the Shitcast recently, but there was like a statement said by a CEO of GameStop or something that he said like we're here to stay for a while, and I don't fucking believe that, to be honest. Like the physical. Like, not even just physical, but GameStop is such a shitty company, and how they treat their workers and, like, all of the fucking rules that they have at that place and how uptight they are.
Yeah.
They are not here to bring gamers together. They're here to make money. Which, you know, it's America. You can't blame them. It's America. That's what all businesses are here for.
Yeah.
But to continue to make sure that you have an environment where people want to come into your store, you have to create a good environment, and GameStop isn't doing that.
Definitely.
So it's just like I feel like GameStop is really, and basically like any like video game retailers is like holding hostage of like video games could be cheaper right now.
Yeah.
Like I remember like back when I would buy games for like my PlayStation 2 when those games were still coming out, those games would like max out at 40.
Yeah.
And it's like that was like the high end stuff back then. Why can't the high-end stuff be the same price now?
Yeah, $40 gets you fucking season pass of shitty Batman stuff right now.
That's another thing that I was thinking about yesterday actually this morning while I was installing The Witcher and downloading like all of the DLCs for it. Mm-hmm. All the DLCs for it were free.
Yeah,
and
that's why fucking like CD Projekt Red, like as a prelude to you guys, we're doing a Best Developers of the Year for BCG Awards. Like CD Projekt Red is definitely a contender for that, just because of how like user friendly they are and like how just like consumer friendly and like here's all of this free shit. We're gonna have like other DLCs that you will have to pay for, but like the DLC, like they just had a huge expansion where it's like basically a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's definitely a prime example of like what good you can do as a developer.
But yeah, like the difference between like having to pay for DLC and then paying for a different story is like a whole nother thing. Like paying for a story DLC that's as long as possibly the Witcher one will be is like reasonable. I'll pay for that because that's like a whole nother game.
Yeah.
But I like, for instance, like the main one that's pissing me off, which it's not like I'm buying it or anything, or that I'm still like very deep into these games, but just as an example, the like they always have like a series of wrestling games that it's like a yearly title for WWE, and I didn't buy it, but I did a lot of research on it because I was contemplating buying it. And the fucking new games now are like $60.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the WWE game came out, that's $60. And I was doing research on it, like which wrestlers are going to be on it, which older wrestlers, which newer wrestlers, stuff like that. And more than half of the wrestlers that they announced to be on the game were all DLC. And it's like $2 a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
The one that,
I do want to sort of.
Me?
I know we're talking in general. We want to talk generally about like expensive hobbies, but I do want to sort of make this topic into like the pricing for video games right now.
Yeah, no, I wanted to shoot towards that more.
Yeah, because it's like movies and like comics; those are getting up there. But like once you get that,
and that's because like those markets are dying, so they're trying to get as much as they can.
Yeah, like that makes sense.
Like that sort of. But like video games are like
they're blowing up.
Vibrant thing. It's because they're still new, you know. We're only like 30 years or like 40 years into like video games. Super Mario Brothers came out 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like we're still,
and that was like the beginning of this age because before that was the video game crash.
Yeah. So I just want to use a prime example right now. A certain game series that we love, and I want to do a specific topic for this one day for talking shit. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 came out, and it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
The game that was on the disc was 4.4 gigabytes, and you couldn't actually play the game until you got the day one patch, which was 7.
How does that happen?
That game was awful, and they knew it was awful.
Yeah.
It's Activision. They usually don't come out with a game that they like know like I know we all make fun of like, oh, Activision, they make the Call of Duties and Call of Duties are, but
those are all functional games.
Bad game that Activision has come out with.
Like an actively bad one.
Like a terrible fucking game that Activision has
not just
done.
one that you didn't disapprove of or
like you can't think of any. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, it was obviously just like they did not give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
And they priced, and they knew it was terrible, and they still priced it for $60.
It was their last.
Like that game seems like a $15 game.
Especially because like the thing that pisses me off about the price of that is how much advertising there is in it. Like,
really? Because I did not see any advertisement for it. Like
no, not like the advertising for it, like the advertising in it. Because like every ramp has like a product on it. Like it's an advertisement for Gatorade. It's an advertisement for even the timer has like a little like clock dealership to it.
Jesus Christ!
Like a little who makes watches that would do like it starts with an N or something.
Nixon.
Yeah, I think that was it.
That's it.
Yeah, Nixon. Why can't you too busy being dead?
But yeah, it was their last attempt to milk at
I feel
a game of that's been long past.
I think from what I've read, they were trying to like their license like they only own Tony Hawk until this year. Mm-hmm. So they like literally made this game in like 3 months and then fucking put it out there and try to milk
It's like
anything
what they did
else.
with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Like, they put it out just so they could have something with that license, and Fantastic Four's case.
Well,
like,
they also did that so they could renew their license. I don't think the same thing works out with video games.
No.
Like, I think they're, like, still... Because movies is different. It's like, if you don't do, like, another movie by this, you lose it. But if you do, it renews, and it's fucking... Movies are weird.
Yeah.
But just fucking take X-Men and Fantastic Four and put it in Marvel.
you can keep X-Men separate if you ask me, because, like, it doesn't really make sense in the Marvel continuity.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But, like, Fantastic Four, you're missing out so much of the Marvel universe just from those 4 characters.
Yeah. But I do agree. Like, pricing is fucking ridiculous right now.
Like, to the point where I actually have to plan the upcoming weeks after buying one.
Yeah.
Like, from a financial standpoint. Like, I need to plan buying one at the right time. Like, that's kind of bullshit.
Like,
Hey, you don't even pay bills yet.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the
I don't
thing.
even fucking pay bill. I pay for my own food. Don't pay for my own fucking bills, though. I can't imagine how the fuck you're buying games.
Yeah, like I gotta,
Like, it's
like I'm at the
fucking-
point where I've realized like I just got to start turning in games, which sucks. 'Cause, like the next game I'm planning on getting, by the time this video's up, I've already gotten it, the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, because I've never played Uncharted before, and I gotta just. I don't have the money right now, so I got to turn in Super Mario Maker, and I got to turn in Until Dawn. And like, as much as that sucks, and as much as I like those games, like I'm at the point where. Like, yeah, I'm playing games for enjoyment, but also I want to get into a journalism sort of video game.
Trying to
like,
get
like I'm trying to be as well immersed in it as possible and trying to hit all dynamics.
Yeah.
So when this game comes out, like I got to be able to play. I got to be able to put my thoughts out there for people who don't watch us to, you know,
You have to
get
try
my
to get
thoughts
at the
on it.
level. You have to try to get at the level where you can get like pre-release copies, like somehow.
That will never happen.
It won't, but you can try.
But from
Unless we get like that big of a following for BZG, that shit will never happen.
yeah, but yeah, it's gotten to that standpoint where we have to plan our shit out. I like decided the other day I'm not buying games for a very long time. I might buy comics, but it's easier for me to buy a $20 collection item like graphic novel than to buy a $60 game. It's easier for me to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's hard because I want to pull up. I think I put on my calendar like all of the big releases that I'm looking at. So this week is Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection. The 23rd is Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
The 10th of November is Fallout. Tomb Raider as well, but you know we can't play that because we play on real consoles.
Yeah.
The 17th, a week after fucking Fallout, is Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
And I think that might be it
For this year.
for this year, you know. And I'm starting to work a little more, getting a little more money in, so it won't be as bad. But like these next couple of months, it's going to be like, fuck.
And then also like on top of that, like they're getting so expensive that like in the back of my head is this whole like we have a fucking problem. Like we need video games that much.
Really, the thing, video games I think are a perfect. Video games are a perfect media, and that's like that caters to us. We are in that generation where video game media makes sense.
Yeah.
Some older generations don't really quite understand that. They're like, I don't understand how you can get this, like an experience of a movie and put that into a video game.
What
They
is
don't
this
fucking,
video game? I don't know.
they
what
don't
Assassin's
understand that
Creed.
concept.
I only like Dev.
If people could learn how to play video games quick enough, I'd just tell them to play The Last of Us and give me some fucking feedback.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always like in the back of my head where like I can almost hear my mom like saying that like I have a fucking addiction to video games and shit, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just because of the pricing.
It's just how you choose your content, you know. If you're not playing a video game, you're going to either be watching a movie or watching TV or something.
Yeah.
So I think video game addiction is bullshit.
Yeah.
But
the closest thing we have to a free entertainment is like the internet.
Exactly.
And that costs like electricity bills. And if we don't stop it, like the whole like internet freeway stuff, like charging for speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't have much else to say on the point, but I'm just going to leave my closing thought, I guess, at once GameStop dies, like, it will be good. Like, once, like, that main factor is out of there, like... And I'm surprised GameStop hasn't, like, found a loss yet, because Amazon is doing, like, they're selling, like, games. You can just ship them to your door.
Yeah.
Best Buy has, like, a way better, like, Gamer Plus deal than GameStop ever will. So I'm very surprised that GameStop hasn't died yet. But when they do, the pricing for video games will be better.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll leave my last thought. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add. If you wanted to talk anything else about video games or that, like maybe comics or something else, but
I think that's kind of it. Like that's just my last point that I wanted to make was that like I'd rather spend the money that I spend on comics than I'd buy a new game. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather have had spent that $160 on comics than buying a $160 video game. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't come across a lot of $160.
No. I know. I'm just saying it's easier. It's easier for me to,
except for the exception of Rock Band 4. But
yeah,
I digress.
I'm just saying like it's easier for me to make that because I'm getting more out of it. Like I'm getting all these comics for that amount of money. When video games, I'd be buying like what 2-3 games.
You'd be buying 3. Yeah,
3. Yeah. So like no, fuck that bullshit. Done.
And that's why bargain bins are my friend.
And that's why I think indies are starting to rise up, is because the AAA experience is getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, it's easier for me to go on PlayStation Network and try to find like a cheap indie game and buy it right away because it's easy to buy, and then
because usually indie games don't come in a physical platform, so they're not pigeonholed to like keeping it at $60 on PSN. You know, they can give it any reasonable price they want, and they still like. How much was Shovel Knight when you bought it, Henry?
Like $10.
And that company is doing, like Yacht Club Games is doing fantastic at just selling their game at $10. You know, so yeah.
I don't know. And
fuck games. That's this topic.
The other thing about it is when it comes to like the whole indie game standpoint of it, it's like going in and buying an indie game. It's you don't know a lot about it because it's not fucking getting shoved in your face constantly.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it's a little harder for indies to get out there. But
that's what I like about it. That's what makes it easier for me to buy it because I don't know what this is. I'm gonna get a completely different like new experience out of it. If I'm buying like even though like Arkham Knight was fun to play, it did get advertised to shit, and we did know what to expect, and we did have time to like brainstorm on what's going to happen next, and fucking most of the time
we were right.
Barrett was fucking right about certain shit. So
I called it. So I won a bet. I won like a $50 bet because of that.
Exactly. So
Arkham Knight would turn out to be Killer Croc.
At the end of the
Spoilers.
day, at the end of the day, you get a completely greater experience buying indie games because there's a somewhat mystery behind it. It's cheaper. You don't have to get a physical copy. It's fucking great.
Yeah, and like once digital just becomes a thing, like. It'll be weird because I like collecting things. That's the thing.
Yeah, me too. I know.
Like we're collectors, but it'll be good. Like once digital is just a thing when it comes to video games, because things will be cheaper because they don't have to make like the box. They don't have to use all of this plastic to actually. They don't have to make the disc. You know, it's all just there. They only have to fucking spend the money on coding the fucking thing and working on it, and then you just distributing it through online services. You know, like
The only like forms of media that I think can really like can work without like the digital distribution is something where there's like a completely different effect to like actually having it. Like if it's like a record or a comic book or just like a book, like those you can still have like physical versions of that, but like a movie or a video game.
See, I know where you're going with this bit, and a lot of the guys that kind of funny think like movies are dying in the way that we view them now, where you go to a theater, like movies should just come out like the day it comes out, like on a streaming format.
Yeah, you can't go to the film movie and chill.
So like but the thing like I don't get the same experience of watching Mad Max Fury Road in the theaters as I do in my living room.
Well,
you know?
There's some movies.
So I don't think, like, movies are sort of dying in that aspect, but there are a lot of people like me who treasure that in-theater experience.
Watching Mad Max outside of the theater, I was really fucking bored.
Really?
I was fucking bored. Like
I watched it right after I beat Mad Max in the video game. I was like, God damn, this movie's so good.
Like, I still appreciate it. I still think it's a good movie. But there was something about the experience of, maybe if I didn't watch it in theaters, I wouldn't think the same and I'd love it still.
Yeah.
But there was something about
it might just be one of those movies for you where you can only watch like a couple of times and then you're done.
Yeah.
To me, it's like there are some movies that like you have to see in a theater, like Fury Road. Mm-hmm. You can only see in a theater. Pacific Rim,
Avatar, I would even say.
Avatar, like,
even though I didn't really like that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit too,
I don't like that movie.
Like The Lion King only really works if you.
I could watch The Lion King on DVD. It's a nostalgic thing at this point. Yeah. I can watch that.
It's hard. That is a weak example, I would say.
Now, this is with that topic and also with not. But I wish I was old enough to have gone seen Alien in theaters. Ooh, that would have been fucking amazing.
I would have cried.
Just saying.
That's our cue to wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Talking Shit. Again, today's topic was, why are video games so fucking expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, it was also just expensive hobbies, but we mainly had to focus on videos.
Video game is the point that I was trying to
So, thank you so much for joining us, and let me pull up my rigmarole. Fuck. I gotta start memorizing this.
That's a good rigmarole.
This is no time for pasta, Ben. We had our lunchtime.
All right, so thank you so much for watching. What do you think about the video game sort of field, what's the word I'm looking for? Market, I would say.
Damn, you looking for the word is all today.
Video game market. What do you think? How do you is it healthy? Is it killing the consumers? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have any thoughts on our thoughts, you can also leave it there. If you liked our thoughts, you can like that like button below, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and if you have any suggestions for Talking Shit to improve the show in any way, for Talking Shit suggestions, you can always tweet at us at baiazonagamers, and you can also tweet at me at benandlerchong. You can tweet Henry at Henrysaurus, but you can't tweet this guy. Oh, you can tweet this guy.
I was like, I haven't heard that in a while.
We went back like 30 episodes. Like, what the fuck? What? You can also tweet this guy at baldazon96. And if you have any tech questions on how we sound so amazing, how we look so beautiful, you can also tweet at our tech guy at 7Morse. But the O in Morse is a 0. You can check that in the description below. And if you don't have Twitter, of course, you can, reach out to us in the comments or email us at baiazonagamers@gmail.com. And if you want more BCG content, check out our other shows on here, Let's Plays, quick reviews, all that good stuff. But also we have SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/baiazona-gamers. You can check that in the description below for the shitcast that goes up every Sunday. So thank you so much for joining me for today's topic of talking shit. And until next time, have a great day full of shit talking and fuck GameStop.
Not Tony Hawk Risky.